Have you ever been around someone who seems friendly, but something feels off? They smile. They speak kindly. They act supportive. But deep down, you sense something isn't right. It's subtle, a discomfort, a strange energy, like a warning from somewhere deep inside you. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the part of a person they refuse to face, but that always finds a way out. When someone harbors hate, envy, or resentment toward you, they will hide it, but not completely. The truth always leaks through. Tiny details, small gestures, moments that seem insignificant, but mean everything. If you pay attention, you will see the signs. Signs that someone close to you is not what they pretend to be. Signs that their kindness is just a mask. Because deep inside, they are against you. And the last sign is the most dangerous of all. So stay with me until the end. Have you ever been the target of sarcastic jokes? Jokes that feel more like insults. Jokes that make you uncomfortable. But when you speak up, they say you're overreacting, that it was just a joke, that you need to lighten up. They laugh while you feel small. They hide behind humor, but their words cut deep. This is not an accident. It's calculated. Disguised contempt. When someone resents you but doesn't want to admit it, they let it slip in small ways. Mocking your dreams, making fun of your fears, turning your pain into their entertainment. Not once, not twice, but over and over again. Jokes with a pattern are not jokes. They are attacks. Pay attention to what they make fun of, because that's where their hatred hides. Have you ever felt like someone is helping you, but somehow things keep going wrong? You trust them. You believe their words, but their advice leads you in the wrong direction. Their promises fall apart at the worst time. Their mistakes only seem to happen when it affects you. It's not bad luck. It's sabotage, but not obvious. It's hidden. A forgotten message. A missed call. A tiny misunderstanding that ruins everything. And when you confront them, they act surprised, like they had no idea. But inside, they know exactly what they're doing. Real friends protect you. Fake ones place obstacles in your path while smiling at you. Have you ever shared good news only to have someone make it about themselves? You tell them about your achievement, and suddenly they have a bigger one. You share your success, and they remind you of theirs. You shine, and they need to outshine you. It never stops. A silent competition. Not out in the open, not in words, but in their actions. They can't stand to see you ahead because your success makes them feel small. So they turn every moment into a battle, a quiet war, a desperate attempt to prove they are better. Not because they hate you, but because they hate what your success makes them feel. And instead of facing that feeling, they compete. Have you ever noticed someone's reaction when you really need help? Not when things are easy, not when there's no effort involved, but when you really need them. Do they show up, or do they disappear? Do they find an excuse? A reason why they can't be there? Do they promise support, but never actually give it? Some people act kind when it's convenient, when there's no risk, no sacrifice, no real effort. But the moment you truly need them, they are gone. And if they do help, it's forced, empty, lacking real emotion, because their heart is not in it. They don't want to see you win. They don't want to see you rise. So they act supportive, but their actions say something else. Look closely. Fake kindness is easy to recognize. It vanishes the moment you need it most. Some people control you while pretending to care. They disguise it as concern, as advice, as wisdom. They tell you what to do. They make you question yourself. They convince you that they know better. And soon, you stop trusting your own judgment. You stop making your own choices because they have taken that power from you. And the worst part? They say it's for your own good. They love you, so they must protect you. But love does not control. Love does not make you weak. Love does not take away your power. But fear does. Insecurity does. And those who cannot control themselves try to control others. Have you ever heard someone talk about you behind your back? Or worse, felt it happening, but had no proof? You sense it. The whispers, the glances, the way people change around you. And then, one day, you realize someone has been poisoning your name, but not directly, not openly, with little comments, with tiny doubts, with just enough words to change how others see you. And suddenly, people treat you differently, not because of what you did, but because of what someone made them believe. This is how silent enemies work. They smile in your face, but they sharpen their knives in the dark. Have you ever shared something you were proud of and felt an uncomfortable silence? A pause, a hesitation, lack of real happiness. They say the right words, but their voice lacks warmth. Their eyes lack light. They don't celebrate you. They tolerate your success. Because inside, it bothers them. It reminds them of what they don't have, what they haven't done, what they wish they could be. And instead of being inspired, they feel resentment. They pretend to be happy for you, but their heart says otherwise. Watch closely. People who love you will always celebrate you. Those who don't will try to hide their discomfort. But if you look carefully, you will see it. And now, the final sign, the most dangerous of all, not in words, not in actions, but in the small, hidden details. A flicker in their eyes, a stiffness in their posture, a hesitation in their voice. They think they are hiding it. But the body never lies, because deep down, your soul knows. And if you listen to it, you will always see the truth. You can feel it, not in what they say, not in what they do, but in the way they exist around you. It's in the way their smile fades too quickly, in the way their eyes shift when you enter a room, in the way their energy feels different when you speak, a second too long of a pause, a handshake that feels too firm, a hug that lingers a little too short. Everything seems normal, but deep inside, something is wrong, because their hatred is buried deep, but it's never fully hidden. Some people don't hate you for what you've done. They hate you for who you are, for what you represent, for the things in you they wish they had. And instead of growing, instead of changing, they turn that energy against you. They make you the enemy, but they'll never say it out loud, because that would mean admitting the truth, that the problem isn't you, it's them. Have you ever been around someone who drains your energy? You're fine before they arrive. You feel good, light, at peace. Then, suddenly, you're tired, heavy, like something invisible is pressing down on you. It's not what they say. It's not what they do. It's just them. Because emotions are contagious, and people who carry hate, envy, and resentment spread it without a word. Your body always knows before your mind does. The uneasy feeling in your stomach, the way your chest tightens around them, the small random headaches when they're near. Your body is warning you. But most people ignore it because the person in front of them is smiling, acting friendly, being nice, but energy never lies. And if you feel drained every time they leave, that's a sign. Have you ever had someone who only reaches out when they need something? They disappear for weeks, months, maybe even years. But then suddenly, there they are, acting like nothing happened, pretending they've always been around. And why? Because now they need you. And the moment they get what they want, they're gone again. No real connection. No real care. Just convenience. A real friend is consistent. They don't just come when it benefits them. They don't just call when they need a favor. They're there. Not just in good times. Not just when it's easy. But always. If someone only shows up when they need something, they are not your friend. They are a user. Have you ever felt like you're the only one putting effort into a relationship? Like you're always the one calling first, texting first, making plans first. Like if you didn't reach out, there would be silence. That's not a friendship. That's an illusion. A connection that only exists because you hold it together. And the truth is, if someone truly wants you in their life, they will make space for you. They will choose you. Again and again. Not because they have to, but because they want to. Have you ever noticed someone who changes when others are around? They treat you one way in private and another way in public. Alone, they are warm, kind, attentive. But when others are watching, suddenly, they belittle you, mock you, act as if they're above you. Why? Because to them, you are not a person. You are an image, something they can shift and change to fit their own needs. And when being kind to you doesn't benefit them anymore, they show their real face. Real love does not switch on and off. Real friendship does not change with the setting. People who truly care about you treat you the same everywhere, in front of others, in private, when things are good, when things are bad. But those who only value you when it serves them, their affection is conditional, and conditional love is not love at all. Have you ever had someone downplay everything you do? You share an idea, and they brush it off. You tell them your plans, and they laugh. You reach a new level in life, and they act like it's nothing. It's not that they don't see your value. It's that they do, and they don't like it, because the higher you rise, the smaller they feel. And instead of celebrating you, they try to shrink you, to make you doubt yourself, to make sure you never realize just how powerful you are. Watch how people react to your joy. Watch how they respond when you win. Do they cheer for you? Or do they suddenly become distant, cold, uninterested? Because envy doesn't always show itself in words. Sometimes it shows itself in silence, in absence, in the way they suddenly stop clapping when you rise too high. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay. Not everyone who smiles is your friend. Not everyone who supports you wants you to succeed. It's hard to accept because we want to believe in people. We want to trust. But trust must be earned, not given freely to those who wear masks. So pay attention, not to their words, not to their social media posts, not to the image they project, but to their patterns, to the way they make you feel, to the little things they think you won't notice. Because the truth is always there. And deep down, you already know it. Have you ever felt like someone is happy when you fail? Not in an obvious way, not in words, but in the way they react. You tell them about a setback, and they seem almost relieved, They say things like, "Well, maybe it wasn't meant to be," or, "At least now you don't have to stress about it." They disguise it as comfort, as support. But deep inside, they are celebrating, because your failure makes them feel better about themselves. True friends feel your pain. They don't enjoy your losses. They don't secretly hope you don't succeed. They don't wait for you to stumble so they can feel bigger. But those who resent you, they will never say it. They will never admit it. But in their hearts, they don't want you to win. Because every time you rise, it reminds them of where they are stuck. And that feeling is unbearable for them. Have you ever noticed someone copying you? At first, it seems harmless. They start dressing like you, talking like you, listening to the same music. It feels like admiration, like they're inspired by you. But then, they start competing. They want what you have. They start mirroring your every move. And suddenly, they don't just want to be like you, they want to be you. This is not admiration. This is obsession. A deep insecurity that makes them feel not enough. So instead of finding their own identity, they try to steal yours. But no one can be you. No one can take what is uniquely yours. And those who try always expose their emptiness in the end. Have you ever felt an energy shift in a room? You walk in, and something changes. The air gets heavier. The smiles fade just a little too quickly. The laughter stops. Or worse, people pretend it didn't. Like nothing happened. Like you didn't just walk into a space where your presence is not welcome. You don't need proof. You don't need anyone to tell you. Your body feels it. It knows. It senses the silent hostility. The eyes that watch you but don't meet yours. The voices that drop when you get too close. The greetings that sound forced. The conversations that suddenly feel strained. This is not paranoia. This is awareness. Some people don't like you, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. And that's okay. Not everyone will celebrate you. Not everyone will support you. Not everyone will want to see you shine. But that's not your problem. That's theirs. Because the truth is, their reaction to you says everything about them, and nothing about you. If your presence makes them uncomfortable, that's their battle, not yours. If your success makes them insecure, that's their wound, not yours. If your happiness makes them bitter, that's their shadow, not yours. You are not responsible for their emotions. You are not responsible for their envy. You are not responsible for their inability to celebrate you. Let them deal with that, and you keep rising. But the question is, what do you do with this information? Now that you see the truth, now that you recognize the signs, how do you protect yourself? How do you move forward? First, trust your instincts. If something feels off, it is. If someone makes you uneasy, there's a reason. If a situation drains you, it's not where you belong. Your intuition speaks in whispers. Listen. Second, stop giving unlimited chances. Stop making excuses for people's behavior. Stop ignoring the patterns just because you wish they weren't real. People show you who they are. Believe them the first time. Third, distance yourself. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to prove anything. Just step back. Silence is your power. Indifference is your shield. When you stop feeding their ego, when you stop reacting, when you stop giving them your energy, they lose their hold over you. And finally, focus on you, on your growth, on your happiness, on becoming so strong, so grounded, so sure of yourself that no one's resentment can touch you, that no one's envy can shake you, that no one's hidden hate can dim your light. Because at the end of the day, the only power they have is the power you give them. So take it back. Stop looking for approval. Stop waiting for people to see you, to love you, to support you. Not everyone will. And that's okay. Because the people who matter, the people who truly belong in your life, they will never make you question where you stand. They will never make you doubt their intentions. They will never need to be decoded. Because love, real love, is clear. And anything less than that is not worth your time. So let them go. Let their silent resentment stay with them. Let their envy eat them alive. Let their bitterness be their own burden. You don't need to fix them. You don't need to change them. You don't need to prove anything to them. Just rise, shine, succeed, and watch how the right people, the real people, the true ones, will celebrate you every single step of the way. No hesitation, no bitterness, no hidden jealousy. Because when they see you shine, they feel joy. They feel inspired. They feel proud, not threatened, not resentful, not small, because they know your light does not dim theirs. Your success does not take away from them. Your happiness is not their loss, but the ones who can't stand it, the ones who shrink when you grow, the ones who go silent when you win. They were never truly with you. They were only there when you were small, when you were struggling, when you were unsure of yourself, because that's when they felt safe. That's when they felt powerful. That's when they felt in control. But the moment you stepped into your strength, the moment you stopped needing them, the moment you became something greater, they changed. They withdrew. They started finding faults in you. They started whispering behind your back. They started pulling away, not because you did something wrong, not because you hurt them, but because you stopped fitting in their shadow. And that is the greatest betrayal of all. Not the words they say, not the gossip they spread, not the fake smiles, but the fact that deep down, they were never really for you. They were only for what you were when you were less, when you were below them, when you were struggling, when you weren't a threat. But you are a threat now. Not because you want to be, not because you tried to be, but because your growth reminds them of what they refuse to face. Your confidence reminds them of their doubts. Your happiness reminds them of their misery. Your success reminds them of their failures. Your ability to move forward reminds them of how stuck they are. And that is something they cannot forgive. So they pull away. They become distant. They stop supporting you. They stop clapping. They stop calling. They stop showing up. Not because they don't have time. Not because they forgot, but because they choose not to. Because watching you shine feels like an insult to them. But you know what? That is not your problem. That is not your burden. That is not something for you to fix. Because their reaction to you is about them, not you. It is their insecurity. It is their fear. It is their unwillingness to grow. Their unwillingness to change. Their unwillingness to look at themselves in the mirror. And instead of doing the work, instead of healing, instead of improving, they project, they resent, they distance themselves. Because that is easier. Easier than admitting the truth, that the problem was never you. The problem was always inside them. But they will never say that. They will never admit that. Because that would mean facing the darkness inside. And most people, they can't do that. They won't do that. It's too painful, too uncomfortable, too real. So they run. They blame. They twist the story. They make you the villain. They tell themselves you changed, that you're different now, that you think you're better than them, that you're the problem, because that is easier than admitting they were never meant to rise with you. And that is what you need to accept. Not everyone is meant to stay. Not everyone is meant to come with you. Not everyone can handle who you are becoming. And that's okay, because you are not here to make them comfortable. You are not here to shrink yourself so they feel big. You are not here to dim your light so they don't feel small. You are not here to slow down so they don't feel left behind. You are here to grow, to evolve, to rise, to become the person you were meant to be, and the ones who truly love you, the ones who are truly for you. They will never ask you to be less. They will never need you to shrink. They will never feel threatened by your success because they are secure in themselves. They know their own worth. They are on their own path, and they are not afraid to see you win. That is the difference between those who love you and those who only tolerate you, between those who support you and those who secretly resent you, between those who celebrate you and those who compete with you. Real people, the true ones, will never make you feel guilty for winning. They will never punish you for being happy. They will never disappear when you succeed. They will never question your worth. They will never make you doubt yourself because they see your light. And it does not scare them. It inspires them. It lifts them. It makes them proud because they want to see you shine. They want to see you happy. They want to see you win. Because when you win, they win too. But the ones who can't stand to see you rise, they were never meant to rise with you. And that is the ultimate truth, because your path is not theirs. Your destiny is not theirs. Your journey is not theirs. You are moving forward, and they are staying behind. And that is a choice they made, not you. So don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad. Don't hold yourself back. Don't look back. Because you don't belong there anymore. Because what's ahead of you is far greater than what's behind you. And the ones who were meant to be with you, they will meet you there, at the top, at the next level, at the place where you were always meant to be. And the ones who weren't, they will stay exactly where they chose to be, because in the end, you don't lose real ones. You only lose the ones who were never truly with you. So let them go. Let them fall away. Let them remove themselves. And don't chase them. Don't explain yourself. Don't beg them to understand. Because the people who belong in your life, they don't need explanations. They don't need convincing. They don't need you to prove anything, because they see you, they believe in you, they trust your path, and they are walking their own, right alongside you, where they were always meant to be. And that is all you need. Nothing more, nothing less. Because real love, real friendship, real support does not need to be forced. It just is. And when you find it, you'll never have to question it again, because it will feel like home. And that is the only place you belong, forever.